Good. Today is 25 June.
Even I'm wearing the same clothes.
Same clothes.
We will be wearing these clothes tomorrow as well.
And the day before yesterday.
Okay, but no one's counting. Right, so today we started off with Stephen sharing with us around the leadership development plan and what we need to do around that. So there's a few questionnaires and tests that we need to do, and as to how that process will work going forward, which should be really interesting in terms of giving us some insight as to our leadership styles, what our blind spots are, what we need to be on the lookout for. So that's something that we're looking forward to. And then we went into Mark's session, which was really good in terms of understanding again in terms of mega trends as to what the impact of the future is and what that means for us as business leaders. I think, ultimately we discussed many things in a very free-flowing type of discussion without having looked at one slide. It was amazing how the conversation just flowed, and we managed to cover so many different topical issues, and then ending up in a space where we were looking at white spaces where the opportunities are for us.
White spaces, right?
Yeah, that was the most, that struck me very intensely, because we always think about opportunity, but we try to define what an opportunity is, how you need to consider and evaluate where you're working in and how you're living in. And it was very important to understand that the white space is where the consumer need is, which may not be properly defined or because we're changing, but you need to have a very clear mind to understand what is the map, and then see that in this space you may have this opportunity to change things, like the case he showed with the payphones. It was in not Colombia, it was in Peru. Where was this? That because they were completely unbanked, they used to get very low level of salary, which is mainly coins. They didn't know how to save money, so what they did is they just completely transformed the payphones, which are the usual ones where you put coins, and they made these as a banking service, which would actually save money for them. And not only that, but because criminality is very high in this case, in this country, they could save money in a very safe way. They didn't have to keep the money in the technology. Doesn't work. Works. At their home. So that was for me an eye-opener of the way we think to consider that as leaders.
For me, actually, I like the Stephen opening about the leadership and explaining all the questions. This way, you probably answer. This way, you don't mislabel your personality.
Yes.
And will be self-inflicted by you. And this way, you have a good guidance going forward. And explaining the whole process, I like this part a lot. Listening to Mark, which was the second part of the day, I think the biggest piece for me, showing the paradigm shift again. Talking about the economic shift and the shift of the capital and where it's going, and the significant gap between the growth in GDP and labor productivity and the median income of the family, which was very striking to see, like and really appreciate that. I never really got this piece. And also the second piece that actually I liked a lot, explaining the platform piece and your whole valuation as a company. It has almost nothing to do with your assets. It has to do with your intellectual assets based on valuation for the future and what people pay for it, and the value of having a platform. And I think for you to have any sustainable model, you have to have a platform that connects people together, because this is where the data comes, and you can come up with a model that make you attractive. This was the second piece for me that was very
it's why existing companies, but also startups, they have the actual value, which what is the value of the assets, but then how much they can contribute either to the industry or the community, and then you define them. But these how do they call it?
The real economy versus the financial economy.
Real economy versus financial economy, which is a new way to see things and understand you need to have both in order to be sustainable and be a success, and not just just try to make an idea without a business plan and then just fail. Okay. And we close the day with amazing wine tasting and amazing food. I think we found about each other so much more during the wine tasting. Right. And that's how we have fun. We close the days every day here. See you again. Ciao.
Bye. Okay, so there's one left.